Howdy, folks. Max Caveman here, bringing you back to my journey to the Pokemon 2024 World Championships. Uh, Now, this is going to be the last month for the recaps. There are no events for June, so we get to see what we get for the last month, the month of May. Um, this is a big month. Um, we have 6 events, uh, 2 cups, 4 challenges. So that's a decent amount of events that I can get points at. Sadly, I did miss nearly all events. Um, just work got in the way, and I sadly had to miss. I sadly missed the first cup and then 3 of the challenges. So it's a very light month for me. But the month did start with a double cup weekend, um, which was very interesting. This was sort of a do or die situation for a bunch of people. I believe in this weekend there were 9 world invites on the line, because a lot of the people that needed the points from the cups this weekend had nearly complete best finish limits for challenges. So that was a big thing. I believe there was 5 world invites obtained on the first cup of the month, and that's insane to say. Um, but congrats to everyone. Definitely is bumping up the numbers from West Australia. It was fantastic to see. Moving on, we do get the very next day, the 5th of May, we have another cup. Um, so we had 23 players, so that's 5 rounds, top 8 cuts. Starting off with round 1, I was facing off against Torterra EX. Now, this is a interesting build. It um, basically get a Toedscruel on the bench, and then you evolve up the Torterra EX and just swings for massive amounts of damage. And I actually won that 2-0. Game 1, they prized 3 Grottles, the Cinderant Shell Grottle, which is the most important piece to have. It gets you everything, and because they didn't have it, they just couldn't do anything. And game 2, it came down to um, the end of time, um, because of Toedscruel. I couldn't use the 3 superior energy retrievals in my hand. I had to um, do some. I think I prime captured something up, and then swung with my Palkia V Star. Um, so that was good. Um, I did just realize I haven't been mentioning what deck I have been playing. I have been sticking with my Gholdengo deck for the longest time now, so that's just what I've been playing. Um, Going on round 2, we're up. I was actually up near the top tables now. This is a very interesting one. We did realize that the games should have gone differently. We forgot type matchups. I was playing up against Great Tusk Mill, and I faced this deck a few times. Mainly not during challenges and stuff, but just a little more casual stuff. Um, Great Tusk Mill is a pain for my deck to deal with, um, because I want to draw a ton of cards. I can't because the Great Tusk just mills everything, and then I've lost everything before I can even use it. So I did end up walking away with a loss here, an 0-2 loss. Um, I didn't. We didn't realize that I when I was swinging in with my Gimmighoul with a continuous coin toss, it was for weakness, and that actually would have put us in game 3. Um, I would have taken the Great Tusk knockout earlier, and then yeah, it would have been my game 2, force us to game 3. It was a hindsight. We realized literally after we had handed in the match slip what we had done wrong, um, and there was no changing at that point. So going on to round 3, another very interesting deck. I was facing off against a Serena EX. This deck, if you don't know, basically wants to put damage counters onto all of your Pokemon, using certain abilities to lock you from attacking when you have less than less than a certain amount of HP. Um, I simply didn't let them. I ended up walking away with a 2-0 win simply because, game 1 they scooped. As soon as I got like a really big knockout, they were just like, "Nah, let's just go to M2," so they could try and hopefully set up a bit better. And I got my Radiant Greninja out, and then I was taking knockouts on all the small little guys that the deck does run. So ends up working out for me. It was a very quick 2 games, so that was quite interesting. Now, now I am actually moving up more towards the top tables, and I was facing off against in round 4 an Arceus Giratina deck, and it's interesting. It felt like my opponent didn't know how to run the deck properly. Like they were winning most of the games, but the situation they were in when they were facing me, it just felt they didn't know which cards to knock out, and because of that, I did end up walking away with a 2-0 win. It was literally both games. It was a Cypher Maniac, get the 2 cards, get cards I need, and then draw into it with coin bonus, and that literally happened both games and won me then. So I was really excited. Um, Knowing that I was at 3-1 at this point is insane. Um, it's basically going into round 5. Um, it was sort of decided that we'll just ID. I haven't used that term much in the series, but ID is intentionally draw. Um, so we just said we'll call it a tie. That guaranteed both of us were making it into Top Cut. I do believe my opponent with that tie placed 3rd overall. They were playing a Turbo Moon deck. So that's the Baby Moon, the Moon EX, and the Dunsparce. Basically, just discard a whole bunch of energies, attach it from the discard, and then draw a ton of cards with the Dunsparce, and then just cycle that back into the deck, get it back out, and just keep going. So that's the basic idea, and I have an interesting matchup with that, but yeah, end up tying. There was no lunch break for the event, and I took this as an opportunity to just quickly grab a bite to eat. Probably would have been better playing it out, but it did guarantee me top 8, which did mean that I made it through to Top Cut. But it's actually interesting because after making it into Top Cut, 3 of the opponents that I faced in the day were in Top Cut, and the other 2 were on the bottom table last round. So it was actually a very interesting day. Now, I did mention that the my round 5 opponent placed third. Overall, I placed sixth, and due to the way parents work, we end up actually facing each other. So actually got a game out of it. And as I said about what Turbo Moon does, it does work fast and it outsped. Sadly, I did lose 0-2, and that was it for the cup. Um, I stayed around, watched the rest of it. We all hung out afterwards, which was fantastic. It was sort of that was sort of like the end of season wrap up for a lot of us. It was sort of like get the last points now, see how high you can go. So yeah, end up with 25 points from that with my top 8 finish. Um, and we did end up with another person getting their world's invite. So I believe it was 6 for the entire weekend. Um, and there was 3 people that were very close. One person's 2 people actually couldn't actually attend either cup, so they sadly missed out. And the other guy, he would have had to top, but it was definitely sort of get the people that we know will get into the worlds and get them in. Um, and they played phenomenally all day as well, so that's why they kind of go into worlds. So there was a challenge after that event. A couple of days later, I completely forgot to even check when that event was supposed to be on. Completely missed it. So the next event that came up was the challenge on the 20th of May. Now this is best of one. I sort of went into it still playing Golden Go, just like let's just have fun. A lot of the schedules around this time did get thrown out of whack because of the Twilight Masquerade pre-releases. So I think that's where I missed the events. So starting off with round 1, there I end up with a bye. We only had 11 players total, so yeah, started off the night with a free win, which was a bit annoying to sort of wait around for the time. Round 2, I end up facing off against Great Tusk Mill. Now this is the same player from the cup that I faced, and it is very close. There tends to be a bit of it just occurs very frequently that the my golden goes get milled very early, and so I have to start swinging in with suboptimal mons, which is definitely a bit of a hassle, but it happened. I tried super riding them back in. They immediately got milled again before I could draw them, and yeah, I like didn't not having the golden goes to start attacking consistently really slowed me down. But it is what it is. Round 3, I was facing off against Future Box. I can't remember what actually happened in this game. I believe this was the. It says Future Box, so this was like I can't even remember now. Definitely, it is a very interesting deck because it is a deck that. Oh, that's right. I remember what happened now. I do want to forget what happened here. I opened up Manaphy. My opponent. I wanted to go second. I start with a Manaphy in the active. I have no mons, like no mons in hand. I have no searches. I draw for turn and I go That's game. They have a Miraidon in the active and an Iron Crown on the bench, and I think they had two at that stage. But basically, they were going to hit 80 damage into my Manaphy, and I had nothing. That was it. We did actually play a game 2, even though this is a best of 1 event, and the exact same thing happened. Definitely cursed with that game, losing basically 2 games in a row before anyone else had finished, basically with Manaphy pass. Really sucked. Yeah, I remember now why I wanted to forget. Definitely a heartbreaking thing. I wanted to get as many points as I can. Sadly, that didn't do anything there. But moving on to round 4, I was facing off against a Turbo Moon player, and sadly, they bricked like crazy. Basically, they couldn't get the energies out fast enough, and then I had simply taken everything fairly consistently, just denying them access to certain cards. I believe I went Eri and ripped 2 Dark Patches out of their hands, and then just slowed them down tremendously. And ultimately, they actually decided to do the fun route of using faraway draw on the Dunsparce to pick up to put the Dunsparce back into the deck, and they had no bench, so they just lost because of that. We did get a little bit of a chuckle out of it. So definitely a interesting event, especially since that was my last event for the season. I did go 2-2 and finished 8th of 11. So I believe top 4 ended up being all. I think first was 4-0, and then the rest of top 4 were all 3-1s, and then there was a couple. I just had bad resistance, I guess. So yeah, end up 8th. So overall, I did get 25 points for the month, which means that I am sitting at a total of 109. So that's actually not bad, especially for my first actual season. In the past, the only other seasons that I have participated in seasons before. However, there have been no challenges or cups during those events. It's simply been a regional championship. So definitely had fun. There is going to be one more video for this season of my journey to Worlds, and that is simply just going to be a full recap, like key moments, talking about some of the things that did come up during the season that I think are of note, especially thinking back now, like, oh, this happened and so and so. But thank you for joining me on my attempt at a World's Invite for the 2024 Pokemon TCG season. Hopefully you do come back and watch that recap, and then hopefully once the season starts in July, I believe, I'll have another crack at the for the Pokemon 2025 TCG World Championships. So until then, have a good day, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.